How do we make sure that the next African American female that comes through here doesn't have this experience? Because everybody's not so fortunate. Some people bow out and say, I'll find a new job. I don't have to deal with this. Growing up, I've never been a quitter. My parents taught me excellence. This is how we raise our kids. And excellence means we got to do all these things to make sure we stay in this arena, opening the door for other African American females and other minority females as well. Well, here we go again. Hawaii is on the horizon again. 2017 is on its way. The first week of January, I have my heart set on the sandy beaches of Honolulu. Well, still $1,900 cost. How much do I have? Got about $1,700 right now. $200, I can do that on my own. But I will be there in January doing 2 presentations, one on math education and the other on STEM education. Okay? Find ways to take yourself to the next level. Your imagination is a great part of it. If you do not imagine that you can be somewhere, you probably won't be. Look at Bill Gates. Look at Steve Jobs. Do they have college degrees? No, they don't. Did they have an imagination? Yes, they did. They had an imagination to be the greatest. Right now they are. Even though Steve Jobs is deceased, he still went to his rest as one of the greatest. Okay? Look at Muhammad Ali. Did he have a degree? No. Did he establish to be the greatest?
Yes.
Do we not call him the greatest? Yes, we do. Okay? And everything you want to do, if you want to be the greatest, look online and see who's doing it. And attempt to be that and then more. In my family, because we stress excellence, it has been a sheer joy. Every 2 to 3 years, we're going to graduation. Right now, we are planning for my sister's graduation in December. She will be the last doctor that will come through the family. This is what happens when you surround yourself with people with like minds. Okay? Both of my parents and my sister and I were in school at the same time, so we're encouraging each other. We're going through this walk called education together. And in the midst of it all, prayer. UK cost about $100,000 for 5 years. They covered the whole thing. How did that happen? We imagined it for 2.5 years. For 2.5 years, we prayed for the same thing. $100,000 to go to UK. My sister wanted to go to the University of Memphis at the same time. So we're asking out of the sky for $200,000 for 2.5 years. Okay? I have parents who are parents of faith, and I'm just sitting here thinking like, you know, Mom and Dad, I don't know. I'm not really sure. During this time, we were taking care of my gravely ill grandfather. And we were totally bent on the idea that we can do doctoral study any time. Our goal was to take care of him. As it turns out, my sister got her paperwork in July. We laid my grandfather to rest in early July. So we were moving on. My sister got her paperwork in August. I got my paperwork a week before UK started. So that $200,000 came through. To this day, we still do not owe a bill to either of those institutions. If you imagine it, you can actually get there. Challenge number 6, expanding my brand beyond math for networking purposes. You cannot just do just one thing. You have to do multiple things because all of those need to be income streaming items. They always say where one thing doesn't work, others do. I had to build a website. And I learned how to build that website all on my own. It took me about 5 years to get it the way I wanted it to be. And it's done. It is DrAntoinetteMarie.com. And I have been working and pulling items together, and this actual presentation will be on there tonight. Maintaining social media. That is a joy of mine. As a millennial, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, and I'm talking to people, meeting people, people that I never would have met in the regular walk of life. But on Twitter, you get people who follow you based on your taglines. What are your pound signs? Okay? Because I've said pound sign millennial, I think I've got a whole lot of followers. because there's lots of millennials online. And we have all these great ideas, and some people don't want to hear our ideas. But we are on Twitter, and we matter on Twitter. Face-to-face conversations. How do you converse with people that you don't know and people you've never met? You say, hello, how are you? I'm Dr. Davis. How may I work with you? What institution are you from? When I was in Hawaii, at the end of my presentation, I met a gentleman who looked just casual. He said, hey, I'm Dr. So-and-so. Are you looking for a job? Are you kidding me? He said, are you looking for a job? Because we just hired some math educators, and we want to know, do you need a job? See, I came prepared to do the presentation. I hadn't come prepared for an interview. Opportunities. Sometimes you have to go across an ocean to get the opportunity, okay? Those face-to-face conversations have helped me to get to where I am. A lot of these speaking engagements, as there will be 3 of them this week, okay? Whatever you imagine, it will come through in a big way. I have this presentation today. I have a presentation tomorrow. I have a presentation on Friday. Whatever you imagine, when it comes through, you need to be prepared, okay? I have a future presentation scheduled at Tate's Creek High School. Presentations, whatever you imagine, it will come through, but are you prepared? These are my 4 children. Lessons on Church for Volume 1, 2. Life Lessons for Everyday People, and my walk from kindergarten through doctoral study is in the last book, Achieving the Ultimate Dream of Education. This is what I'm doing when I'm not teaching math, writing books. Why? Because these are income streaming items. You have to find other ways to market yourself outside of your major. Don't get me wrong, my major of math has gotten me quite a few opportunities to teach. However, I don't want to teach 24 hours a day. These are income streaming while I am sleeping. Okay? They are on Amazon. So at any point in time, anyone can get online or get on my Facebook or my Twitter and find those books. Okay? How do you create yourself outside of your major? You got to find a way to do it. Because one day, you may decide, I don't want to teach. Those books will be around forever. Okay? Challenge number 7. Being a millennial in a department of mostly boomers. Okay, my parents are boomers, but I'm a millennial. As you know it, I do social media. Okay? Many of you probably saw the announcement earlier today about the presentation, because I do social media. Okay? Age difference. There's often a way that's different on how we think about things. We might process situations totally different. I may say, I'm okay with conflict resolution. Someone else may say, I'm fine with walking away from it. Okay? That's how you handle those age differences. You find a collective medium. Cultural differences. Being the only African American in my department, there's cultural differences. Okay? How do you bridge those? You have conversations on how you were raised, how they were raised. You learn to find that balance. Everybody doesn't have to be the same. But again, as I mentioned earlier, there has to be respect, no matter what. Common ground. How to deal with millennials. We spend a lot. We spend a whole lot. We tend to have our phones next to our beds. This is very true in my case. Because there are days on my off days that I may not feel like turning on the computer. I can just roll over and play on my phone. Okay? Millennials. We use Twitter. A lot of us are self-employed. Okay? When you think about millennials, and you actually hire them, find ways to make sure that they are always included. Inclusion is important on any university campus. What are their ideas? Because 9 times out of 10, their ideas are going to take them outside of their work environment. They want to go out of town because they believe in trips. Ever since spring break, they've been spring breakers of college years, and now they want to be spring breakers of their academic world. Okay? So 9 times out of 10, every spring break, they're going to have a trip planned. Why not center it around a conference so everybody can come together? Okay? Your ideas may not be their ideas, but still introduce them. Give them a chance to participate and lead out. 3.1% of millennials earn enough money to lead the kind of life they want. is very true. Because every time I go to Dillard's, I think about a pair of shoes that I want to get. And I get them. Millennials lead the life that they want. Okay? Think about it. Challenge number 8, greatest challenge of all. This sums up the entire presentation. Being myself. How do I be myself in an environment that may or may not accept me? I push on anyway. Okay? Being comfortable in my own skin. You see, after incompetence and after adversity, I still got to find a way to be comfortable. I still got to find a way to go to work and work with students, even though I'm trying to figure out how in the world did all this happen. Being comfortable in my own skin. Why? Because I'm the first face that my students see. And if my students don't see me exuberant about math, they're going to hate it. I got plenty of students who come into my class. I hate math. I have the worst math teacher. I can't believe I'm in another math class. So what do? I got to pull out some tools and resources to help them to feel comfortable. But I got to be comfortable first in order to make them comfortable. Embracing every challenge with a positive view. You notice what I mentioned when the challenge came, the first thing my mother said, let's plan for fall. Let's pray about it. What else do we plan? What else do we do? So she effectively found ways to distract me from the challenges, and therein lies positivity. Positive thinking is the key to a lot of things. With positivity and imagination, you can go anywhere. You can go anywhere. 10 years ago, I could not have told you that I would be in Kentucky. I did not know. But 6.5 years ago, when I imagined it, I said, well, I guess I'll be in Kentucky. Me and the horses. Okay? And I'm here in Kentucky. Quote, every Facebook morning, I call it a Facebook morning. Every Facebook morning I read quotes by Tony Gaskin. And he happens to be the life coach of Kay Michelle. Many of you don't know her. She's an R&B artist. And she needs a life coach. Okay? And she has one, and that will be this young gentleman here. He wrote a quote more recently that I saw, and I wanted to share it with you. The greater the struggle, the greater the success. Appreciate the tough times and know you'll have a story to tell when things work out in your favor. Your blessings are on the way. This is my story that I'm telling you. I'm over the struggles. Will there be more? Of course, but now I know how to handle it. This is my story, and it did work out in my favor. I want to tell you that oftentimes you're going to go through experience in life, and you may not know what the outcome will be. Your first thought will be to think negatively. Let me tell you, positivity and your imagination will get you out of that slump that you're in. Why? Because somebody's watching you. Somebody's looking at how you process information and how you handle adversity, and if you don't handle it right, it could mean an end to your future opportunities. This particular speaking engagement, I would not be here if I hadn't imagined it first. If I hadn't thought positively, I wouldn't be out of my struggle. If I hadn't thought positively, I wouldn't have known how to go up the chain of command. Welcome to success. Before I get to the thank you, I want to tell you the greatest challenge that I've experienced beyond mathematics. You see, as the youngest person, or the youngest child in my family, I was not all that concerned on learning how to drive. I just wasn't. Because I always had a ride. Either my mother, my father, or my sister, I will always get there. Well, as it turns out, I took driver's testing, got my permit, and sat down. I said, I got a ride. I'm good. Well, as it turns out, first time I took the driver's test, I did not pass. Why? I absolutely hate